Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new podcast. This is the second episode of Everything and Anything, and I'm your co-host Russell.
And Alexa, for those that still don't know me.
Hope everyone is doing well, and we are on to this second episode, so happy summer solstice. Happy start of the summer, basically, for a lot of people that are out of school right now.
Mm-hmm. Get ready for your vacation, bathing suit, sunburns, and so on.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff. I'm not actually excited about summer. Summer's not one of my favorite months. It gets too hot, especially the humidity. I freaking hate the humidity. And we're just going to have a lot of that, but hopefully everyone enjoys their vacation and enjoys the summer out there.
Yeah, and I found something very interesting about the summer solstice. And, for example, in Alaska, that is celebrated with a midnight baseball game. So can you believe? Yeah, I think it's good use of your time, because this is the longest day of the year.
That's true.
Know.
Yeah, that's
and
in
true. Alaska.
And in Alaska, yeah.
So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. An interesting fact I found is the longest day of the year, of the northern hemisphere. So anyone above the equator, it's the longest day of the year, so you can enjoy the sun a little bit more.
Did you feel it? Did you feel any difference? That was last Thursday.
Yeah, I don't think I did, but I probably did. Just the sun was just like beaming hot, so
yeah,
it was pretty crazy.
I think just the light really messes up your schedule with sleeping.
Yeah.
I like to sleep with everything dark.
That's true. Same here. I do too.
And I think that helps. Like if you're in an open space or something, just make sure you have something to cover the windows.
Right.
Otherwise, you're gonna just be staying up all night until who knows.
That's
what
very
time.
True. That's why we bought the drapes that are like completely black and just dark out the sun, just because we don't want that to beam in our faces.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, hopefully everyone is enjoying the sun out there. So some of the topics we're going to be covering today. The first one, we kind of wanted to talk about the first podcast and what we kind of felt, and how the first podcast went and all of that stuff, how our feelings are about it, what are some of the challenges that we faced.
Alrighty.
How'd you feel about it?
Okay, so first of all, I am a newbie in podcast making.
Yeah.
So it's actually harder than it looks like.
Yeah.
To be honest, I thought you're just gonna roll out there with the flow and just talk about whatever you want, but actually you have to put some thought into that.
Yeah.
Like any other thing you do. And also we wanted to just to introduce ourselves a little more in the first podcast.
Yeah.
And I think that went well, just because we can tell people what they are going to expect from us, and it's a first a small connection that we do with our audience, and we want them to know us a little better, Yeah,
well, what were your feelings though? Like, how did you feel doing the entire podcast?
I felt kind of a little anxious.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure what I was gonna say at what time I had to say it. So yeah,
especially like the mic, like you're all like fun and games before the mic, laughing and stuff, and then when the mic turns on or when the video turns on, you're like, oh, I don't know what to say.
I don't like to be put in the spotlight, but I think this is a good exercise, especially for me.
Yeah.
Just to get myself more comfortable with uncomfortable stuff. So
yeah.
This is the year.
You have the uncomfortable?
Yeah, feel uncomfortable with the uncomfortable.
Yeah. I mean, same a little bit, but I had a little bit of experience in doing podcasts and YouTube. It's not that much, but I have recorded myself before. Video is a little bit, even worse, because you have to look at yourself while you're kind of editing the video, and it gets. I had to just continue repeating myself over and over and over, and it was only like a 2-minute video, So I was like, it took me probably about 2 hours to record a 2-minute video, and then another like 30 minutes to an hour to edit it. And it wasn't that big of a deal because it wasn't back then. It was like around 2010. So yeah, those videos I did were they're mediocre, but I'm always trying to improve. And doing the podcast now, my feelings were a little bit anxious as well. Trying to figure out what to say, but I think our podcast is going to get better and better once we start recording more and more. And I think it will just get better from now on. But yeah, for me, I was a little bit anxious. How did you feel about like the editing part and all that other after stuff, like submitting it to different podcast sites and other stuff like that?
So honestly, I was very excited with the creative stage of the podcast itself, like just thinking about what we can discuss and things that are interesting for us and for many of you out there. But the logistics part and the technical part, I was impressed because I didn't know that you have to do so much to put something so little out on the internet. And Russell is the savvy one here, so he kind of taught me a little bit of how some of the things work and what could we do better so things get easier in the future. So I am actually I have a lot of respect for people that work in things like that. Like I never thought or imagined that it could take so much effort.
And time too. Basically, some of the challenges, is just like editing the for our very first podcast, just editing it, trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. How long should we record it for? Where should we submit the podcast? Our site, it's just like getting random pictures, like we didn't want it to be any copyright or anything. So we tried to find pictures that we did ourselves. So we went outside and just took random pictures everywhere. And we're going to do that more and more. But those are some of the pictures that we've taken. And just to find like even songs or like sound effects that are that's not copyrighted so that we could use, and posting it on social media, that takes time as well, trying to figure out where should we post it, posting it on podcast stuff like Apple, Google Podcasts, and like all of those other stuff. So it was it was very, very interesting in regards to some of the challenges that we have, and we don't have a lot of the expensive equipment and stuff to record it as well, but I think we didn't want that to be a hindrance in regards to starting the podcast, because procrastination is a huge thing, is a huge challenge, specifically for myself. I get challenged really easily. Like I just I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it later type of deal.
I think not only you have procrastination challenges, I think we all do, it depends how we manage them and try to take little steps toward achieving a goal. Because if you think of a general thing, it's gonna be hard. It's just like when you cook, if you think of just making dinner yourself, it's gonna, I know you like cooking, but I personally I feel challenged when I have to cook. But if I think like little steps in order to do like rice or something, it's gonna make it more achievable. Or just easier on myself. And everyone's first few or maybe 10 or 20 episodes are going to be mediocre at best, and then they're just going to improve on and so forth. And some of my favorite YouTubers, when I watch their very first episode, I'm just like, what the heck is this? And they've just improved every year, every month, every
in regards
day
to their quality and how they present themselves and their presentation and all that stuff. So it's very interesting to see.
So I guess you guys can learn along the way as well for any of the things that you have in your personal life going on,
So let's move on to the next topic that we'd like to discuss. So there are some events that have happened the past few weeks, and one of the bigger ones is the World Cup, right? Yeah, World Cup, woohoo! To be honest, me specifically, I'm not that into soccer. It's football in other countries, because I never actually grew up with it. I grew up with basketball. as my favorite sport. So I watched basketball just a lot. And soccer kind of is a new thing to me in regards to that. So I would love to learn more about it, and I love the thing about every country participating, and it's just like a huge event for everybody. And do you have any other things to talk about that in regards to the World Cup?
I mean, from me, everything has started because I used to watch soccer with my dad, and I wouldn't understand absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
But I would just see the enjoyment and the hope that my dad would get out of just watching a soccer game. And even though I didn't understand many of the things that were happening, and they were just men playing, going after a ball,
Yeah.
it was just so cool to see how many people could get together to celebrate something just like that.
Right.
So I think we can actually kind of do the same for other things in our lives, just to get together to celebrate, for the good things as well. Everything doesn't have to be bad all the time. I know it can get overwhelming with the news that everything seems to be so sad, but when you just take another look, there are these wonderful things going on in the world, and is awesome.
Yeah, I think that's one cool thing about the World Cup is everyone kind of just coming together and enjoying a sport and just celebrating, and a huge event, like you said, to take away from a lot of the bad news that's happening in the world. So yeah, I'm excited to see that. And I know that is for anything in regards to Colombia, is it a pretty good team, pretty good soccer team?
I mean, if you ask a fan about their team,
yeah, it's true.
It's kind of hard to tell, you know.
Right.
So you have just to. It's going to be quite biased. So yes, Colombia was a great team.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just want to talk a little more before just about the general World Cup.
Yeah.
So, well, actually, it was founded in 1930. So this has been going on for 88 years.
That's a long time. That's very long. Yeah.
And you think about before that time, it has been wars and all of these things. Conflicts in the world, and we are still having the World Cup.
Right.
So it's great that it has lasted all this time, and it continue bringing people together.
Yeah. So who are you rooting for? Well, I guess we can talk about what teams are participating in the World Cup right now, in the 2018 World Cup.
I mean, we have first-time World Cups soccer teams such as Panama and Iceland. And that's super cool. I was rooting for Panama the other day. I'm trying to root for all the South American countries. Mm-hmm. Yes, I know it's a little biased, but I do like the soccer, that I see. Do you have any other teams?
Yeah. So we can go down the teams of participating right now and see who are you rooting for. So Group A has Russia, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Uruguay.
Yeah,
trying to say it properly.
No, Uruguay is a small country next to Argentina, Paraguay, a little bit in Brazil. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Cool. And then Group B is Portugal, Spain, Morocco, and Iran. Mm-hmm. Group C is France, Australia, Peru, Denmark. Is it Peru? Peru. Group D is Argentina, Iceland, Croatia, Nigeria. Group E is Brazil, Switzerland, Costa Rica, Serbia. Group F is Germany, Mexico, Sweden, and South Korea. Group G is Belgium, Panama, Tunisia, England. And Group H is Poland, Senegal, Colombia, and Japan. So I'm actually rooting for Japan. Just because I'm rooting for an Asian country. They usually don't do that well in soccer, so I'm just rooting for them to kind of advance. And they've never won the World Cup before. I did some research a little bit, and no Asian countries. If I'm wrong, let me know. No Asian countries have won the World Cup before. So I'm just rooting for them. But it kind of sucked because Japan and Colombia was actually the very first match. I didn't really want to root against Colombia. I actually wanted them to tie.
But unfortunately, Colombia lost.
Yeah, you can tell a little bit about what happened in the Colombia and Japan match.
Well, basically, we got a red card like 5 minutes into the game, and I mean, what I can see here is that the red card is basically you get suspended in that game, and that player cannot be replaced.
Yeah.
So basically, we play with 10 players for the whole 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So that might have contributed to Colombia's loss. But I think Japan did quite a great job as well. I'm not gonna do like.
Right. That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
And also, there are other people, other favorites that win the World Cup for right now, like Brazil and Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Germany holds the current title in the World Cup, and Brazil has won like 5 times.
Right.
So they have a really good chances of winning.
Yeah.
I see other teams, like honestly, that have been doing really good as well. So everyone has a fair chance, I guess.
Is there any other team that you're rooting for? Or is it...
As I said, all South American countries.
Oh, it's all South American. Okay.
Yeah, maybe Argentina.
Yeah. I'm also rooting for Colombia.
Yeah,
so.
Uruguay is doing a really good job too.
Right.
Peru, all of them. Panama.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we can talk a little bit about the rules because I didn't really know like how it worked for the World Cup in terms of like how they advance. So they're separated into different groups with 4 teams.
There are 8 groups.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There are 8 groups, and then 4 teams in each group, and then they each play each other. Each team plays each other in that group, and if a team wins, they get 3 points. Mm-hmm. If a team loses, they get 0 points, and if the teams tie, whether it's 0-0, 1-1, 2-2, they get 1 point.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, each team gets 1 point.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah,
so
and by the time they all play each other, the top 2 teams that has the highest points moves on to the knockout round, and then after that, they all play each other, and whoever gets knocked out, they lose. Whoever plays and wins that match, they win. They move on. Whoever loses. So I never actually knew that. So I thought that was interesting how the bracket was set up in regards to that.
Yeah, I mean, also something very interesting is that for those people that don't know, actually there are 11 cities that are hosting the World Cup. It's not only one stadium and that's it.
11 cities in Russia.
And there are 12 stadiums. And the final in the World Cup is gonna be played in Moscow.
Gotcha.
Also there was something quite amazing that we found, and it's actually like the winners get some prize money. We thought they didn't. Honestly, I thought it was just for the sake of playing up to 1 point. I mean, I did think that there were like financial rewards to, these amazing things that these people do, but it's quite a lot of money.
Yeah, I didn't know how much. It was crazy.
If you still want to be a soccer player, you might be thinking of that. That's a great option. I mean, I think millions of dollars, and it's great.
Did you know how much it was?
No, I don't have that.
I can look it up really quickly.
Yeah. So you guys have an idea.
I think it was said like $40 million. I think it was like, I want to say it was like
okay, just for the sake of you.
It was 38 million. So the World Cup winner gets $38 million, and that's $3 million increase from 2014. Mm-hmm. So they're getting way more money. And that's pretty crazy. I didn't know it was like worth that much, but that's pretty crazy. Also, what I didn't know was because I watch other sports and the clocks count down.
Oh yes.
So the clocks count down all the time. But in soccer, the clock is 90 minutes and they never stop the time. And I was always wondering that. I was like, why does it ever stop? then I figured out if there's any penalties or if there's any substitutions, they just add time after the 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
If the match gets stopped by anything, they will add the time at the end.
Yeah, that's really cool. And another cool thing is the World Cup trophy cost $20 million.
What?
Yeah, $20 million.
Only that little thing.
Yeah.
It's
like, what the heck? I was like, the World Cup trophy itself is crazy. And I was looking at, other trophies compared, to the World Cup trophy, like the NBA championship, NFL, and they're only worth $10,000 to $20,000, $30,000, and this is $20 million for the World Cup.
But honestly, that's just for showing, because I don't think it really does it.
Right, for sure.
I know, but that's still, outrageous.
Yeah. So.
Alrighty.
Yeah, cool. So on to the next topic that we have is the E3. Was E3? Yeah. So E3.
Tell us, Russell.
Yes, this is
illustrate us in your jam.
Okay, so E3 is my favorite time of the year. It's like my Christmas, basically. It happened. I think it was like around June 12th, June 9th to June 12th, early part of June. And E3, if you all don't know what it is, it's the Electronic Entertainment Expo, and it is hosted in LA. And it's a video game conference, basically, where all of the video game industry goes to and kind of shows off all of their new video games, what's showcasing and all of that stuff.
Are the companies only U.S. based or
no, it's
worldwide?
It's worldwide. It can be Japan, UK, and just basically every company goes there. And the bigger companies have conferences. The smaller ones kind of showcase what they have coming up in the next few months or in next year or next couple of years. And I got to watch all of the conferences because, like I said, I'm a huge video game person. So I watch Microsoft, I watch Sony's, I watch Nintendo's, all of their conferences. And my favorite company is Nintendo.
Yeah,
if you all don't know, I love Nintendo. Like, I back them 100%. Well, actually, I take that 98%. Because some of there's things that they do I don't
98 to 100, that's almost 100.
That's almost 100. It is the closest as it can get. And I just love them because I grew up playing those video games. My first video game console was not a Nintendo. It was actually Sega Master System. And I didn't actually grow up with a regular Nintendo until much later. Or I didn't get one until much later. But I always liked them because I love the characters, Mario, Donkey Kong, all of them. So I was super excited. Overall, I really enjoyed the conferences. However, I thought Microsoft, out of all the conferences that I watched, they had the best conference in regards to the presentation and what they showed. They showed video game after video game.
I do have a question. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
How do you rate the conference? Is it according to...
How do I rate them?
Yeah.
I just rate them by how it's presented and how engaging the conference was.
That's so weird. I thought it was going to be just according to the content. That's what it matters at the end of the day.
Well, the thing is, because a lot of the content is... because you have to base it. Is the content going to be released this year, or is it going to be released next year? If a lot of the content that a lot of the conferences showed was going to be releasing next year, so it doesn't really matter, right? Because those games you won't be able to play until next year anyways. So I'm rating it on just the presentation itself. So Microsoft I thought was the best, but Nintendo I am the most excited about, especially Smash Brothers, which is going to be releasing this year in December. And you know how I love Smash Brothers. I used to play that game.
Which one is the Smash Brothers?
The game that I played with everybody, all the fighting characters.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, at my previous work, we used to, after work, we would just used to 8 of us just play Super Smash Brothers all the time, and that was one of our favorite games to play, and I'm super excited for that. So I just kind of wanted to, say a little piece about that because I'm always excited about video games, and anytime I can talk about it, it's always good for me. And I'm always trying to introduce you into video games as well because I know you're not that big of a video game person.
I'm not a video game person.
Well, yeah, but you do know Mario.
That's all I know. And Tetris.
Mario and Tetris.
Yeah, it's just, for me, it's just like kind of weird.
Yeah.
See how people just like celebrate those type of things, but just like any other thing, like soccer or like basketball, that's also another hobby.
Yeah.
And I guess there are a lot of people that also enjoy that and like to get together for that reason.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, moving on into something a little more sporty, we would say, or something that we've been watching for a long time.
Ultimate Beastmaster.
It's called Ultimate Beastmaster.
Yeah, Ultimate Beastmaster.
It's a show in Netflix.
Yep.
It has 3 seasons, I believe, or 2.
2 so far.
2.
They're going to shoot the 3rd season this year or next year, I don't know.
So basically, it's just a
obstacle course, kind of this competition, kind of like Ninja Warrior. If you've seen that, a little bit, kind of like Wipeout. So any of those, if you've seen those before, you'll kind of know what to expect. But it's pretty cool. We've enjoyed it. We actually saw the 2nd season before we saw the 1st season because we didn't know what was going on. But yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, in the 1st season, so we have the initial pack of competitors were 12 competitors,
each from different countries.
Each from different countries. So we have competitors from Japan, China, Germany, Mexico, Brazil, South Korea, US, of course, and many others. I'm kidding. I think that's all.
Yeah.
And basically, they will just get points according to if they were able to, how do you say that? To go through the obstacle course.
Yeah. It's separated into 3 different obstacle courses.
Yeah.
4 different obstacle courses.
So, it was super cool. And I think the thing that I like the most about this TV show that is different from others is that they will just feature their stories as well. So they will just tell, how everyone ended in this type of competition. Some of them would say, well, I think the last one that we saw was with a child from, I believe, Germany. That his sister had just recently died from cancer or something like that.
Yeah.
And he was just 19 or 18 years old, and he was still competing, and she just had died that year.
Right.
So I think that was quite amazing, just how people overcome to things, and that you are, that we can all do the same.
Right. Yeah, and the obstacle courses are pretty cool too. They climb certain things, and then they have to traverse different types of obstacles, either through speed or through strength. A lot of rock climbing though. If you're a rock climber, you definitely have an advantage. And there, at first is 12 contestants, and then the second one is 8. The third one's 5, and the last one is 2. They go head to head, and it's just cool to see different countries participating as well. And I think it's a hit and miss in regards to commentating. The commentators are okay in regards to how they kind of present the show. That's one of the weaknesses that it's okay, in regards to that. But the 1st season has Terry Crews, which I love Terry Crews. I think he's awesome.
Who is Terry Crews? For all of those that didn't know,
he's just an actor. He's just an actor. He's just a really cool guy. If you kind of know some of the backstory about him, he made I think with his son, he created a PC with his son to play video games.
I remember this story.
And we watched him on the Hot Ones when he tried to tackle the Hot Ones as well. That was really cool.
That's a show in YouTube.
Yeah, so he's an actor / I would say kind of comedian because he's pretty funny. Like a lot of
personality,
his shows, yeah, he's very funny.
I don't know.
He's really cool. I just really like him. And so he was one of the commentators for the very first season. So we really enjoy it, and we're on our first season right now. Mm-hmm. Still, so
I think episode like 3.
Yeah, 3 or 4,
something like that.
Yeah. So so if you all want to check it out, it's on Netflix.
Yeah,
you can binge watch basically.
Yeah, that's hard to try.
Yeah.
Probably you're not gonna stop watching after the second one.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Get ready.
There's some funny contestants because there's people that flex their muscles all the time, and Lexa's always like, why do they always flex their muscle? Why always they try to show off?
Yeah, I don't like cocky people. It's fine for you to be a good athlete, because I love people that are athletic and all of that, but I don't like when people are so cocky and you could just be cool.
Just be cool, yeah. But have they show some of their moves? Like that's not cocky. Some of them were doing like push-ups, or one guy did a breakdance. Is that showing off?
No, that's fine.
So what to you is showing off? Then?
Maybe the muscle when they flex their arm like that. Yeah, okay. I don't like that. Alrighty.
Yeah. Cool. So the next area is we're going to talk about kind of like short stories.
Yeah, this is
small stories.
Yeah. This section is
past few weeks.
This session is going to be called Stories at a Glance.
Okay, she made that topic, or she made that title up, which I think is cool.
Yeah. If we change it next week, it's because it didn't work, or maybe it was too serious.
Serious.
Okay, so basically,
you want to tell my story first?
I think we're gonna start with the sun.
Okay, sure.
So, long behold, it was a sunny Friday.
It actually wasn't. It was 70 degrees.
70 degrees.
And cloudy. It was mostly cloudy.
Friday.
Yes.
Actually, I think it was the first day of summer.
Uh-huh.
Or a day before summer.
Yeah.
Something like that. So, long behold, we were two happy people going to a happy, natural nature place. Which is quite beautiful in the city that we are right now.
Yeah, Governor's Island.
If you guys never been there, it's just a very small island, like in New York City.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of things to do. Like
you have to take the ferry there. Though.
Yeah, I would never expect that you can do so many things in an island.
Yeah, they built it up.
It's so cool. Honestly, if I could live there, I would do it.
Yeah.
It kind of reconnected me with the nature, and there were like bicycle rides, there were like roller skating, there was like a climbing wall,
hammocks.
There were hammocks. There were a lot of food.
There were random lawn chairs around, and we just
everywhere. There were a big playground for grown-ups, for kids. So it was such a beautiful place.
Yeah,
I've been there before. But honestly, I fell in love again with Governor's Island. Yeah,
and they have amazing views of...
Yeah.
You need to go there if you want amazing views of Statue of Liberty, the entire city of Manhattan, of New Jersey. It's really cool. It's like basically a 360 view of all of the surrounding area.
I know. So cool. It was such a great day, and I was very happy. We haven't been into much contact with nature, because New York City is is a lot of buildings going on.
Well, it is called concrete jungle for a reason.
Yeah, so sometimes you forget that there's something called nature, and you can actually get in touch with nature, and it really it just balances you.
Yeah, but nature is nice, but not for me. And because I get crazy allergies. So I get massive amounts of allergies, especially once end of spring hits, early summer. I freaking sneeze all the time. Runny nose 24/7. I hate that. And my eyes start bulging out. Like my eyeball's about to fall out of my eyes. I just get really, really bad allergies. And I love nature, but I also have really, really bad allergies.
So regarding the falling ice, I was so happy and excited for a new adventure. We actually went backriding.
Yeah.
And that was so cool. I thought I had forgotten how to ride bike. But it was so cool.
On Governor's Island, it's free from 10 to 12 on the weekdays.
Monday through Friday. Yeah. So we wanted to take the deal, and we did. And, I had put a baseball hat. I had a baseball hat, and I have sunscreen on my face and a little bit on my arms. But I didn't think I needed on my legs for some reason. I don't know why. I just forgot about them.
And I had nothing.
And since my friend here, he believes he doesn't need sunscreen, which I think from this experience, he learned he might need some. So anyways, we were happy. And
mind you, it was cloudy and 70 degrees. Okay.
So we just basically lay on the sun for a good hour. I believe, we were walking. There were some hammocks, and, you say, when do we see hammocks? So why don't we go? So we went to the hammocks and stayed there for like 30 minutes, took a nap. And when we were heading home, after our busy 8-hour day, I start noticing that my legs are red. And I see that Russell's arms are red as well. And he thought he had allergies.
I did think I had allergies.
He's like, no, my allergies. Oh, no, my... I'm like, those are not allergies. That's called sunburn.
No, I really thought, because I was itching. I was like, no, these are allergies. I was like, I don't get sunburns. I was like, no way, I don't get sunburns.
This is his statement since I met him. I don't get sunburns. Yeah. Well, what is that, people?
Yeah, but honestly, I hardly get sunburned. Maybe because of the ozone layer. There's ozone holes or something around New York City, but like in Oregon and in California, because I've grown up in the West Coast, I'm out in the sun like quite a bit, and I hardly get any sunburn. So it was just very interesting. And like I said, it was 70 degrees. It was cloudy.
So anyways, so we noticed soon after that we have gotten the worst sunburn of our lives.
Yes.
I got sunburn all in my legs, in the front part of my legs. I don't know how to describe this. It's just like you just look like a lobster.
Yeah.
The purest red you ever seen.
Yeah.
And the same for Russell's arms.
Yeah, I got the worst sunburn I've ever had in my entire life, and I do regret it. And this is a warning to everybody: definitely use sunscreen, even though it might be cloudy.
This is no joke.
Outside, if you're going to be laying out, just put on some sunscreen. It will help you, because we've been having this sunburn for the past 4 days now. Yeah, and it's getting better though.
It is getting better, but it's been a process.
Yeah.
So basically, we did what everyone does: go get some aloe vera.
And
research.
You had what was it? Milk.
Magnesium milk. That's milk magnesium.
Oh, magnesium milk, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, I've never heard of that before.
One time I heard of that, and I have done that before, because this is the second worst summer of my life. So in the first one, I actually put that thing, and it actually worked well. Yeah. It just helps to calm your skin, to relieve the pain. Doesn't do anything with the redness, but it just calms the pain.
Right.
So I went ahead and purchased that, which was a cheaper option that compared to what Russell bought was more like aloe vera stuff. I was like, it's not going to do anything.
Lotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we've been doing that. It's getting better. Still red.
Yeah.
We've just been learning you have to get hydrated. Take your health seriously,
Right.
If you don't have a good sunscreen, get an umbrella. Yes, you're going to look funny and people are going to, laugh at you, but, it really protects you.
Yeah.
And try not to be out there for too long, Sun is good, but in small doses.
Yeah. I agree.
So, any other stories at a glance that you can tell us?
Yes. So, this was an interesting one. So, like a few weeks. I want to say a few weeks or a month ago.
Maybe
like,
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, so I was at Rite Aid, and I was like, I'm just looking at through the aisles, and I always buy stuff that are on sale. So I was like, I'm that type of person, you know, like I only buy it on sale. If it's not on sale, I usually don't buy it. And I went to the cereal section for some reason because it was next to the candy section, and I like cereal. I'm a big cereal fan. I've eaten a lot of cereal when I was younger. So I was looking through it, and I was like, what the heck, Smacks? Because I haven't seen Smacks for a while, and I haven't eaten that for a while. And I was like, what the heck? So I was like, okay. And I look at it, the sale was $2. I was like, what the heck? $2 or $3. I can't remember the exact price. And I was like, okay, so I'll buy that. I was like, I haven't had Smacks forever. And
I have no idea what is Smacks.
Yeah, it's basically a cereal with a frog.
Yeah.
A frog in the
Just like
box.
a very child appealing
yeah, it's like a rice thing that's
picture.
like with caramel. I don't know, whatever it was. So I had it. And like I said, Alexa doesn't eat cereal, so I eat the cereal. And I ate almost like most of the bag. And I was like, okay, it was all right. It wasn't the best cereal I've had. But, you know, it's kind of like a childhood memory type of deal. A week later, I get a phone call.
I actually have a little bit of the cereal.
You did have a little bit.
I think I have like one serving.
Well, probably less than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wanted to try. I was like, this is actually good. The frog is working.
Yeah. So so like a week or two or so later, I get a phone call, and the caller ID says Rite Aid. And I was like, I'm not picking that up. But I was like, why the heck would freaking Rite Aid call me? And so I just let it go to voicemail. And then I listened to the voicemail, and I was like, what is going on? And the voicemail was like, if you bought, we've seen through your receipt that if you are at Rite Aid and bought Smacks, please throw away, or if you want to get your refund back. I was like, $2 refund. There has been cases of salmonella, and I almost ate the entire box. And so I started like looking at the news really quick, and there has been multiple, not just one or two, maybe like 20 or so cases of people having salmonella, not just for this specific cereal. It wasn't anything else. It wasn't Fruit Loops. It wasn't Apple Jacks. It wasn't Corn Pops like all the other cereals that I bought. It was freaking Smacks. And I was like, what the heck? Out of all the boxes that I bought, it had freaking salmonella in it, or it could have had. And they're like, well, if you had signs of, diarrhea or signs of
dehydration, like fever,
abdominal cramps, and I couldn't remember. I couldn't recall if I had that. Of course we threw that away, and I've been monitoring just to see if I have any of those symptoms. Luckily I haven't, and it's been a week now. Of course we threw the cereal away. But what the heck? What a coincidence that out of all the cereal I bought, it was Smacks that had freaking salmonella in it. Or it could have had salmonella in it.
This is crazy, so, from all the odds, it has to happen to us specifically.
Yeah, and I've been reading here, usually the sources for contamination are eggs, poultry, meat,
exactly,
milk, juice, cheese, raw fruits, vegetables, spices, and nuts. I don't see cereal on here, so I have no clue how the salmonella got into cereal, specifically Smacks.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily he's feeling better.
Yeah.
But I think one of the days, I did have some stomach pain.
Yeah, stomach pain. Hopefully it wasn't like salmonella.
And I thought it was something else. I'm like, what is going on with me? My stomach just hurts.
Yeah.
As I said, I thought it was, I don't know, any other thing. But I just went to sleep the whole day. Went to sleep at like at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Woke up the next day and feel so much better.
Yeah,
so
I don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah, and it says, how can I prevent it? Cook foods to safe internal temperature. How are you going to cook Smacks? It's just like you eat that as a cereal. You're not going to cook it. So it's just like, yeah. Very, very interesting stuff.
So, just for everyone to be aware of this, if you have those cereal, please throw it away.
Yes, throw it away. Kidding. If you have Smacks, throw it away. Yeah. And get your $3 refund from Kellogg's or whatever. Yeah, I think it's Kellogg's, yeah. Yeah. So those are interesting short stories for the past few weeks. So we always want to end like the last episode. We always want to end it in what was it called again?
It's called gratitude.
The gratitude challenge. Yes.
It's basically, as we said before, a small segment in our podcast where we just want to end it on a positive note and just like remind everyone of the things that we all are surrounded by, and sometimes we just overlooked. Sometimes we forget that we're already lucky enough, and we are successful enough, and smart enough, and all of that. So it's always good to remember that we are all enough. So the challenge for this week is just to tell us what's your favorite trait of yourself.
Yeah.
It can be physical. It can be personality-wise, or how about for you?
Everything
and anything.
Everything and anything. That ends the show, guys.
I mean, that's a good. If you're that confident, I mean, some people are like that. That's cool. Because personality-wise.
Personality-wise, I think a trait that one of my favorite traits, and there are plenty, so I'll just get it to one. I think patience. Is one of my traits that I like. When I'm waiting for something, I always try to wait for it until it's on sale. So I'm not like the type of person that buys it right away. I'll be like, maybe if there's a sale, I'll get it. But everything else, in terms of patience, of course, I get impatient a lot as well. But I try to think back, in regards to being patient. It's just like it will come, so I got to be patient. So I think patience is one of my favorite ones.
Okay. I think for me, I think I'm funny. I think. I actually am not sure if I'm funny, but in my mind,
She's funny, kind of.
People that really get to know me know about this trait. Other people that are not as close to me, they may just not even realize that, is there. But I do feel that I take life, with a humorous side, I would say. I like to laugh. I enjoy laughing a lot, and I think that helps a lot with everything, Well, why should we take life so seriously anyways?
Right.
So that's that everything.
And anything. That ends our episode. Hopefully you all liked it. Hopefully you all learned something.
Make sure you, stay away from the cereal that we told you about.
Yeah.
Make sure you hydrate. Put sunscreen.
Yeah.
Continue staying tuned to the World Cup.
Yeah.
Be kind to yourself.
Yeah. Enjoy the summer, because it's going to be a hot vacation, or hot summer. And, enjoy it. And you can follow us at every_anythings. That's on our Twitter. That's also on our Instagram handle as well. So you can follow both of those for any updates that we have. And follow us also at everything and anything 325
at gmail.com. If you want to visit our brand new website, it's also available. You can be in our Twitter account. It's actually, there's a link right there in the bio.
Yep.
Where you can just click and visit our website and see how it's looking.
Yeah, sounds great. Hopefully everyone has a good one. Bye.
Stay tuned for the next one.
Bye.
Bye.